So today we'll work on control statements, ABAP control statements. So what is the use of ABAP control statements? So ABAP control statements are used to execute a specific functionality, depends on a condition. Whenever that condition is true, we execute that particular functionality. Okay. To make that functionality execute by some condition, what we use? We use control statements. For example, or yeah, we have control statements. So in simple words, what are the control statements? By using control statements, we can execute functionality based on some condition, conditional based. Okay. So only when that particular condition is true, then a specific functionality will be executed. Okay. If it is false, then that functionality, whatever available in the program, may not execute. A alternative functionality will be executed. Okay. For example, so in control statements, we have if statement. If condition and here in between we write whatever the functionality you want, depends on that condition you're going to add. Then else if condition, and then your functionality, and again else if condition 3, some functionality 3, like that. Else if conditions will be continued, depends on your requirement. Okay. And then else and your functionality, and then ENDIF. So this is the syntax for if statement. What is if statement? If statement is a ABAP control statement. So by using if statement, we can execute functionality whenever a specific condition is true. Okay. Simply we can execute different functionalities, depends on the conditions. Okay. Here please observe the syntax. If and ENDIF, in between we have else if and else. So if and if if you open if condition, and if you have to close that with the end if, that is mandatory. In between else and else if, right, these two are optional, depends on our requirement, we use it. But if and end if are mandatory. If you have only one condition and when you need to execute that functionality, if that condition is true, then you can simply use if and end if. In between if and end if, you can write your functionality. Okay. But what is else if? Else if is like if only. For example, if a equal to 1, then execute this functionality. Else if a equal to 2, then execute this functionality. Else if a equal to 3, then execute this third functionality. Else if a equal to 4, execute fourth functionality. But we are providing alternate conditions here using a else if. Okay, clear? But what
Yes.
is else? Else means all the above conditions are false. Whatever the conditions we have implemented using if and else if, all the above conditions are false. Then execute this functionality else. Clear? If all the above conditions are false, okay, then execute this alternate functionality else. There is no specific condition here for else statement. If all the above statements are false, then which block will execute?
Else.
Else block will execute. There is no condition. Only requirement for else condition is if all the above if statements or else if statements are false. Okay. And please remember, we should not provide duplicate conditions because we should not provide two true conditions. Okay. We should not use two true conditions in if and else if, right? The conditions must be unique. Okay. The conditions should not be like a equal to b if a equal to b and else if b equal to a. Both are same conditions, right? For example, if a equal to b, then execute some code. Else if b equal to a, then execute some code. Is it a duplicate condition or not?
Yes, sir.
In this case, both if condition and else if condition both are true. We should not provide such conditions. Let's say if you have provided this kind of condition, a equal to b and b equal to a. So which statement will execute? Which code will execute? For example, code 1, code 2, else, and if. Now tell me, if a equal to b, a equal to b, right? Let's assume, let's assume a equal to b. If this condition is true, if a equal to b, b equal to a also true, right?
Yes, sir.
Both are true. Now tell me, if condition is true, a equal to b, that is true, and else if b equal to a also true, then which condition will execute? For example, I'm passing a equal to 1 and b equal to 1. Now a contains, let's assume a and b are variables with character type 1, and I am passing value 1 to a, value again value 1 to b. Now a also contains 1 and b also contains 1. Now a equal to b true, right? Because both variables contains value 1, correct?
Yes.
Now 1 equal to 1. See, a contains 1, b contains 1. A equal to b is true, right? The, and we are executing a specific functionality. Next, what is the next condition? Else if. Using else condition, else if condition, what we are checking?
B
B equal
equal to
to
A or not.
b equal to a also true, right? Because both contains 1. True, right? Now which
Yes.
condition will execute? Now both conditions are true. Which condition will execute? Which code will execute? Code 1, code 2 or code n? So I'm saying if condition will execute whenever the condition is true, right? Now tell me we have two true conditions. Which conditions will execute? Or both will execute? Any guess? So when you have two true conditions, only first available statement will execute. First true statement will execute and it will come out of the if statement. Clear?
Yes.
So when we have two statements, okay, what will happen? The first available if statement will execute and it will come out of the loop. So now here if statement will execute, else if won't execute, even it is true. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now let's assume, let me change the value. Now I'm passing 2 value 2 to variable a. Now which condition is true here?
Third one.
A equal to b, is it true?
No, sir.
No, b equal to a. That means
No, sir.
1 equal to true, 1 equal to 2. Yes, because variable contains values, right? So we need to compare those values. Okay, b equal to a also not true. Then all the above two statements are false. Then it will execute else statement. There is no condition required. What is the simple condition it need? All the above statements should be false. Then else statement will execute. Okay.
Okay.
If any of the above statements are true, then it will execute that code and come out of the if statement. Okay. And we should make sure to provide unique conditions, not duplicate conditions, because there should not be two true statements. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Duplicate conditions are like this. If LV underscore country equal to some India, then execute some code, code 1. If state equal to some AP, and execute code 1. Sorry, else if, right? Some code 2. LV underscore some Vizag, then execute code 3, else some code n, and if. Now tell me, is it a proper if statement with unique conditions? Is it a proper think think logically or as a business user?
No, sir.
So what I am saying, if country equal to India, execute code 1. Okay, if country equal to India, then it will execute code 1. What is the next statement I am checking for? If country equal to AP, execute code 2. If city equal to some Vizag, execute code 3. If you observe this, these are not unique statements because, for example, one employee is belongs to India. He might also belongs to AP, right? And his city might be Vizag, right? If his record is like this, some 100, employee number 100, and his name is, I'll keep it here, some name of 100, and his city is Vizag, and state is AP, and country is India. Then what I'm checking here, I'm using three different conditions. If country equal to India, execute this code. State equal to AP, execute this code. And city equal to Vizag, execute this code. But if you observe for this employee, 100, his city is Vizag, state is AP, and country is India. Now we are checking these three here. If his country is India, for example, if his city is Vizag, what does that mean? His city is Vizag means he belongs to state of AP and he belongs to India, right? Automatically, right?
Yes, sir.
And we need to
The
check.
condition.
We don't need to check for country, right? As a separate condition.
Yes, sir. No need of country and state also.
Yeah, because he's from Vizag. That means automatically, as per the record, he belongs to state AP and the country India. These two are duplicate statements. If you are checking for city, right?
Yes.
And again, if you are checking for a city, we don't need to check for state because Vizag is in AP only. Again, so if you check like this, all the three statements are true, right? For this employee 100, this employee 100 belongs to country India and state AP and city Vizag. But we have built if statement like this. Now all these three statements are true, right? For this record, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we should not write conditions like this. Okay, because all the three statements are true for a specific record. We should avoid. Even if you write like this, which statement will execute now? The first available statement, code 1 will execute and it will come out of the if and if. Okay, clear? So if you observe here in if statement, you can check different operators. You can use different operators like greater than, less than, between. Okay, these conditions also. Okay, not only equal to, you can also use greater than, less than. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
So usually we use this for undefined values or indefinite values, which we cannot fix. The values which we cannot fix. For example, price of the material. It is not constant, right? It may change time to time. Okay. For example, if you take price of the petrol every day, it will update. The price will be updated. So you cannot. It is not constant, right? And you cannot predict, right? We cannot check equal to. If price equal to this, we cannot check conditions like that. Like that. Usually we check if price is greater than something, do this functionality. If price is less than, do this functionality, right? Because values are not constant. They will change time to time, right? So we have one more control statement, that is a case statement. Here, if statement, we can use greater than, less than, or between different operators to check the conditions. But in case statement, case statement, it only check equal to. So when we use case statement, for example, we use case statements for universal truths like weeks. How many weeks are there?
7.
7. It is always equal to 7, right?
Yes, sir.
How many months? 12 months.
12 months.
And for example, if you take gender, these are all constant, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? When you compare it to values, price, these are constant. Price and all, they are going to change time to time, right? For example, salary. Salary is not fixed for all employees. It will change yearly, right? So we'll provide example for syntax for case statement. Case variable and when one, when the variable contains one, then execute code one. When two, when the variable contains two, code two. When three, code three. And then similar, you can use when statement continuously. When others, then code n. Let me type again. Case. So the case statement starts with case and ends with end case. Okay, this is the syntax. Starts with case and ends with end case, and in between when one value. This is what is this? The value of the variable. Okay, when one means value of the variable. Then code one. Then when others, or we can use when this will execute, when others will execute, when all the above statements are
Wrong.
false.
Yeah.
Then others condition will execute. If the variable is not equal to 1, 2, 3, if the variable equal to 5, then which statement will execute? For example, the variable value contains 5. Then which statement will execute? Which case statement will execute?
Last.
Others. When others? Because we are checking only 1, 2, 3 here. If it is other than these three, other statement will execute. Okay? Clear? Here when 1 means equal to. Okay? It's always equal to. Value should be equal. But if you take if statement, we can apply different operators like greater than, less than, between. Okay? Now check one example. So create the program, provide the title of the program, save. Going forward, we'll try to use a proper package name. Okay? Instead of saving it in a local object, we'll add the program to the package, and also we'll provide proper description for the transport request. F4, trying to search package names, starts with Z. I'll take this one, Z001 as my package. Click on save. Now it is suggesting some transport request, but it is not relevant to our development, right? Create our own transport request and provide the description. Program on control statements. Click on save. This is my transport request. Okay, my program is created. You know, right? What is the use of transport request? Transport request is used to release changes from development to test system and test system to production system, right? If you assign your program to the local object, transport request is not going to generate, so that your program is local to the same system. But if you assign a project specific package, it will ask for a transport request and you can transport the program to different environments like test and production. Okay, you can also have feature of version management when you assign the transport request. Now we'll take parameter. What is the use of parameter?
Selection. We'll get selection screen.
So you can provide an option to enter the inputs. Okay, I'll take I integer. Just check how it is displaying. So this is my parameter. So but it is displaying the technical value, right? What you have to do? You have to maintain selection text in text elements. Go to text elements, go to
Selection
selection
text.
text, maintain a field label. Okay, just I'm entering value. Now it is displaying some text. Okay, not in a technical name. Now what's my, if so user is going to enter some value, right? User is going to enter some value, right, in this parameter. So depends on the user input, I'll execute my code. If p underscore value equal to 10, then what I'll do, value is 10. Else if value equal to 20, else what is meaning of else? If all the above statements are false, I'm saying value is unknown. So here I am just using write statement, but in general you can write any ABAP code functionality. Clear? Is everyone able to understand this condition? If user enters
Yes,
the
sir.
value 10, then I am printing this. If user enters other than 10, 20, 30, I'm printing this in the else condition, else part. Let's check how it is working. Activate. Now what is the expected output? Now what is the expected output? It should print either these three values or
Or
this one. It should print one of these values 10, 20, 30, or it should
Value is
print
unknown.
only two possibilities. Either it should print one of the value 10, 20, 30, or else unknown value. So execute. So enter 10, execute F8. So value is it is printing this one because value is 10. Enter 20, it is printing value 20. Correct? For example, let me change it to the same condition. P underscore value equal to 10. Now what I am doing? So now P underscore value equal to 10, then print value equal to 10. And again, I've added one more condition. If P underscore value equal to 10, it's a duplicate condition, right? Then if this else if is executed, then this message should be printed like value is 20. Let's see which one will execute. 10. So which one is executing?
First one.
First available true statement. Okay. Let me enter 60. What it is printing? Else part.
Value is unknown. Right.
It is executing the else part. Okay. Clear? Now, instead of equal to, we'll check like this. P underscore value is greater than 10. Please observe carefully. Condition 1. I'll print like this. Condition 2. Else. Okay. So if value is greater than 10, then execute condition 10. If value is greater than 20, then execute condition 3. Then value is greater than 30, execute condition 3. Instead of equal to, I am checking greater than. If value is, if the user entered input is greater than 10, then print the condition 1. Greater than 20, then print the condition 2. And greater than 30, then print the condition 3. Else, then what will execute? Condition else should
Condition.
print. Now, what is the expected output? I'm entering 24.
Second condition is true.
Second, right? Let's see which one will execute. Why condition 1 is executing?
It is also greater than
Greater than, sir.
greater
Observe
than
this.
10.
These are the duplicate statements. Greater than 10 means that might be anything, right? Anything greater than 10, starting from 11 to some infinite value, right?
Yes, sir.
Starting from 11, some infinite value. Greater than 20 means here
21 to infinite values.
in this condition itself we are covering 20 also, because whatever the value that is greater than 10 means starting from 11, this condition is true. Even if you enter 1 lakh, condition 1 will execute. Even if you enter 10 million or 20 million, what is the true condition? What is the first available true condition here? This one only, because everything is greater than 10, right? Starting from 11, right? So this is all these are duplicate conditions, correct?
Yes, sir.
Whatever you execute, I'm executing 1000. Condition 1 only will execute because 1000 is also greater than 10, right? Now let's enter less than 10. What will execute? Now tell me which condition will execute.
Non-value.
Now else condition is executing because 9 is less than 10, less than 20, less than 30, right? Now if I enter 9, all the above conditions are false. Then it will go to else statement. Now we'll correct this statement. If it is less than 10, then enter condition 1. Okay, and value is greater than 10 and less than 20. Then execute condition 2 and value is greater than 20 and p underscore value is less than
30.
30. Then execute condition 3. Here, what is the uh, true values for first condition, first if statement? 0 to 9, right? It will accept up to 9, right? Less than 10 means 9 only, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
For this, greater
11
than
to
10.
19.
Greater
11 to
than 10.
19.
Greater than 10 means 11.
11.
To 19.
19. Here,
21 to
21
29.
to 29. Right? Now let's see how it will work. If I enter 2, what is the expected output? Condition 1 should display. If I enter 11,
Condition
condition
2.
2. If I enter 20, why it is
These
going
are
to else?
condition. Okay.
Why it is going to else? If I enter 20, let's check the condition. What are we doing here?
Less
If p
than 20.
underscore value is greater than 10 means 11, p underscore value is less than 20 means 19. We are providing a code to execute condition 2. But in the next step, what we are checking? Greater than 20. We are missing 20. We are not checking for 20. Greater than 20 means 21, right? It will start checking from 21. It won't consider 20, right?
By using greater than or equal to, sir.
We have to use greater than or equal to 20. Okay. Here also, if we enter 10, if we enter 10, it will go to else condition because
We used only for 20.
yeah, greater than 10 means 11. It's not considering 10. Here we are using less than, or either you need to use less than or equal to, or you need to use greater than or equal to here. Okay. You can also use less than or equal to 10. Now it will consider value 10 also. Okay. Now enter 20. Condition 3 will execute. If you enter 10, condition 1 will execute because we are using less than or equal to for 10. Clear? Is everyone clear and how to implement if statements? This right
Yes, sir.
statement is
Please, sir.
only an example code, but in general we write some business logic or functionality. Depends on the condition. Okay, clear? So instead of and, what do you mean by and? This should be true and this should be true. Both should be true. Value should be greater than 10 and value should be greater than 20. Both should be true. Then only this condition will execute. Okay, clear? We can also use or statement. Or means instead of and, we can use or. Or means if either of the statement is true, if this one is true or this one is true, execute this logic. Okay, that is or statement. Now let's check case statement. All these statements we are going to use in most of our programs. Okay, so please understand the basics. Going forward, we'll know more details. I'm saving in the package. I'm not selecting the local object. Now, my development is related to control statements, right? Is case statement part of control statements or not?
Yes.
I'm assuming this control statements, this case statements is also part of control statements project only. That's why I'm assigning this program also to the same transport request. Okay, I'm not creating a new transport request. I'm assigning this object also to the same transport request because both are relevant. Now take one parameter, for example, p underscore week type. You can just take I. I'm taking I only. Then what is the syntax for case statement? So this is the syntax for case statement. Case p underscore week when 1. Then I'll print Monday. When 2, I'll print Tuesday. When 3, can I use greater than, less than? Is it suitable for this?
Yes.
We may use, but usually we don't check for greater than, less than, right? Weeks. Okay, use pretty printer to format this. So now, what do you mean by when one? When p underscore week, the meaning of this statement is when p underscore week equal to 1, then execute this. When others means other than. So if we enter the other than value 7, we have to add text element, selection text, week number. Now execute. If we enter 1, what is the expected output?
Monday.
Enter 5, it will print Friday. If you enter 10, it will print unknown. As we did not handle that here, right? It is always check for equal to, okay? Equal value, not it won't accept greater than, less than, just like if statements. Okay, clear? So when we use case
Yes,
statements, for example, this kind of weeks, these are always constant, right? 1 to 7, right? In future, there is no chance of more weeks, right? Correct?
yes, sir.
It is always fixed. These are always fixed. Also months. Months are always fixed, right? And for example, gender, right? To handle such conditions, we use case statements. They are always equal to. There is no greater than, less than. So if you are checking for gender, we cannot say like if gender is greater than M or less than F, like that, right? If gender is equal to M or gender is equal to F, we can check only in that way, right? We cannot check like if gender is greater than M or less than F, right? Can we check like that? Can we write conditions like that? That's not at all a valid condition, right? So in such kind of universal truths, like we use the case statements.